Hey, what's up, everybody? Kieran Maloney here. I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm really glad you got to join us for this live event today. So, the title of today's event is Five Online Branding Tips to Establish Yourself and Your IT Business as a Trusted Authority in Your Space. Okay, so excuse the delay, had a bit of confusion with the live stream a second ago, but I can confirm we're live and ready to go for the training right now. So, I'm really happy to get stuck in and share all this valuable information with you. So, it's a topic that I'm very excited to be sharing today with you about because it's an area I know a lot of you would like a bit of clarification around. So, I hope to kind of clear up any confusion and to kind of give you a path forward, all with the aim of helping you to achieve more success in your technology firm. And just a reminder, so this event is specifically for IT business owners and founders running IT services businesses. So that includes IT support firms, managed IT services businesses, custom software agency, technology consultancies, pretty much everyone and anyone selling technology services to small to mid-sized businesses. Okay, so it's going to be a great event for those just starting out also. So that means those aspiring to transition from their 9 to 5 into running their own IT services business and just trying to figure some things out, like what we're going to be talking about today. So it's going to be super relevant for you also. So yeah, if any of those sounds like you, I'm pleased to say you're in the right place. Okay, so let's get stuck in. So just to start off, I know as like a business owner how frustrating it can be to firstly meet with a prospect, take time to share with them everything that you do, have a great conversation, and then after all that have them go quiet. Used to run my own IT services businesses too, and this used to be incredibly frustrating for me. You thought you had their business, a new paying client, and then out of nowhere, it's just crickets. Okay, and you wonder, what the hell happened? Why didn't they get back to me? Okay. Or here's another scenario, you get a new contact inquiry through your website or through referral, and then you reach out, but you hear nothing back. And, you ask yourself, what did I do wrong? Did they decide to, work with another company? Is this no longer a problem for them? What is it exactly? Okay. Well, I can tell you from firsthand experience of working with and interacting with IT services firms, typically, micro to small in size, that your online presence and your brand have a huge part to play when it comes to clients choosing to do business with you or not. So now, more than ever before, your clients are doing a lot more due diligence on you and your business. So they're looking at your reviews, the case studies on your site, your social profiles, even your personal Facebook page. Okay, so literally everything. They check you out everywhere. They want to understand, if you're someone they can get along with, somebody they can trust, and are competent to get the job done. And preferably, more often now than not, so preferably, they want to understand before they ever meet with you or talk to you. Okay, so these are the things they want to establish before they have that discovery call. Okay, so just think about your own experience, for example. Like, what's the first thing that you do when you want to stay at a hotel in a new location? Okay, so if you're anything like me, you Google the best hotels, you check out some reviews on social media, and then you take a look at their website. You have this kind of like a ranking and sorting algorithm going on in your head, and it's the exact same thing that your prospects are doing before they ever get in touch with you. And it's for that reason why it's so important to dial in your online presence and your brand so that your prospects say yes to doing business with you and never go quiet again. Okay, so that's what I'm here to help you solve today through your online brand. Okay. And the title again is, 5 online branding tips to help you establish your IT business as a trusted authority in your industry, allowing you to make more per client, get longer term contracts, and drive revenue growth. Okay. So yeah, but first, if you're watching, let me know. Type live in the comments box and let me know where you're joining from. So I always like to know where people are from the group. So it'd be awesome if you could just drop a comment. Let me know where you're dialing in from. All right, so we're going live in the group right now. Growth strategies for IT software and SaaS business owners, as well as YouTube. So type live in the comments and let me know where you're tuning in from. And again, if you want the recording or the replay, just type in hashtag replay in the comment section, so I know you get to see this. Okay, awesome. So the first thing I want to mention, before we dive in, if you've struggled with figuring out how to build up your personal brand and you haven't been able to, establish a solid online presence, it's not your fault. So many people have trouble with marketing and branding themselves. And it's no surprise either, because most people, especially if you whose backgrounds are in IT engineering or software development, just don't have experience in this area. It's a struggle to understand what goes into a good online brand and how to convey what it is you do exactly. And this is especially true when we're really selling technical products, okay? So most people just lack a kind of a solid roadmap and a step-by-step checklist to get their brand on point. But again, I have to reiterate, it's not your fault, okay? So this is exactly what we're going to be talking about, and exactly what we're going to be covering today, okay? And again, if you're worried that you never truly stack up against your competitors and have a best-in-class personal brand and online presence for your business, without spending a truck ton of money, I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can. By thinking outside the box, you too can have an online presence that rivals and even betters, companies who are doing, 10, $20 million a year, IT services businesses and IT providers. In fact, many of these companies don't even know how to approach this whole area too well either. Their brands are often, generic and impersonal, and they fail to build that human connection. And that's where you can do better and leave a memorable impression on your customers. But you do need the right strategy and the right person to hand you a blueprint that works. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Okay. I also want to say, if you've been in business for a while, you more likely think like branding is a load of, fluffy BS, okay? And people who talk about it, it just doesn't really mean anything, okay? Or it's just a way for some, marketing agency to swipe 10 grand off you for some fancy logo and some pimped out social media profiles. And I can tell you firsthand, for being in the IT industry and also running a marketing agency for a while, there are a lot of those companies out there who promise a lot but really don't deliver a lot. So yeah, you might be taking some courses and programs or read some books around the topic also, but I've just been completely overwhelmed with information and literally had no time to put it off. So that's what we're going to try and help and resolve. We're going to talk about some real life, in the trenches tips that actually work. I'm also going to show you a better way to brand yourself, to perceive yourself as a trusted authority in your industry, an approach that will enable you to improve your monthly recurring revenue and run a 7-figure technology business with staff you love to work with and a business that can thrive without you, all while making a bigger impact on the world. All right. So why should you listen to me? Well, over the past several years, I've been specializing in working with and driving growth for small to medium-sized IT services and software businesses, typically small businesses for the most part. I ran my own IT services business and support company also, providing IT solutions and software support services to local businesses in my vicinity. I've also built a 6-figure sales and marketing agency exclusively working with IT firms. So I'd like to think that I'm somewhat knowledgeable in all this area. So I've gotten hundreds of clients on my own for my own agency and through my clients through paid ads and organic strategies and some of the branding stuff that I'm going to be talking about today. Professionally, I'm a tech guy, so I know that whole side of the business also. Okay, so enough about me. Let's dive into the trading. But first, I want to just get a bit of a sentiment. How do you feel about your online brand and online presence currently? I mean, do you feel good about it? Do you feel it's good, bad? Could be better. What would you improve on if you could? All right, so that's my question to you. Leave a comment in the chat box. I want to hear from you. All right. Awesome. Okay, so let's dive into the training. Okay, so I just have 5 quick tips for you here. I'm going to share a few slides with you also. Get in my face too. All right. So the first tip is to define your audience. Okay. There's going to be 5 tips here, really short and sweet. All right. So the first one is define your audience. So defining your audience is about being selective and clear about your business, and just as importantly, being clear about who you do business with, and just as importantly, who you do not do business with. It allows you to be clear about what customers you serve and do not serve. In other words, defining your audiences allows you to craft your brand and online presence that is hyper resonant with a specific slither of the market, a niche market you are positioned as an expert in and that you can serve better than anybody else. Okay. So I want to think, I'm going to share with you a bit of an example. Okay. So let's say, there's a customer, a buyer. Okay. And they've evaluated 3 IT companies, okay, in their vicinity, to provide managed IT services or just support their whole infrastructure. Okay. And let's say, for example, that client is in the healthcare space. Okay. So they're, I don't know, a doctor's office or a small clinic. Okay. And they're looking at these IT providers. The guy who's evaluating these companies is a, general practitioner, owner, business owner. He doesn't know an iota about IT, and he's looking at these 3 companies and he's trying to evaluate, which one he should choose, right? And now he might be going on to there. He's going onto your website. He's looking at your case studies, the clients that you work with, and all of that, right? Now, for him, let's say there's one IT provider who's, a specialist at serving doctors' offices and healthcare firms. Okay. So they have 10 years experience of working in the industry. They've served a ton of businesses in that space, doctors' offices. They have these client case studies. Their whole brand and online presence, their website is completely orientated about, serving healthcare businesses, in a certain vicinity. And then the other 2 businesses, on the other hand, are, very kind of broad and general. They serve, everybody and anybody, any kind of business that will come to their way. They're IT guys, yeah, and they're experts, but they've no speciality in any given industry. They're just kind of jack of all trades, right? But if you can just go back to the client, for example, and if you think, what they're perceiving these businesses as, right? You typically, like, the person who is like positioned as an expert in a specific niche in a specific area is more than likely going to be, a top consideration. Okay. All other things being equal, they will more than likely get the business over the other 2 providers. And that's just a kind of an example of how, branding yourself and positioning yourself and defining your audience and building a whole brand and marketing collateral around that will allow you to turn that initiative and that effort and that drive into, more consideration amongst clients and ultimately a secured and closed deal. So that's why it's so important to firstly define your niche when it comes to branding yourself. The second thing is, next slide, crafting your brand message. Okay. So here's the deal, words sell. It's not pretty graphics, or the latest WordPress theme, it's words. Okay. So for that reason, it's so important to have a best in class brand message to stand out from the crowd. Okay. So that means every single piece of marketing collateral in your business is honed in order to convert prospects into new clients. So excellent messaging stops your ideal customer dead in their tracks, raises the hairs on the back of their neck and drives into action. Whether it be book a call with you or sign up to be a client. That's the power of great messaging. And your brand message is designed to clarify your message. It allows you to communicate immediate value, which is what customers are looking for, and connect with your ideal customer and ultimately grow your business. Okay. So if any of you read anything by Donald Miller, he's an excellent book, Story Brand. Highly recommend you go out and grab a coffee. He covers this whole thing in detail. But a few things that go into creating an awesome brand message is, firstly, defining your audience's problems. Okay. So the person who understands the client's problems better will have much higher probability of converting that client into a new paying client. Okay. So that's why you want to define your audience's problems in detail. Take all that information from sales calls and enrich it across all of your social media profiles, your websites, and everything. Okay. The second thing is kind of be a guide with the solution, okay? So Donald Miller goes on about this, be like the Yoda, okay? Your Luke Skywalker has a problem overcoming the Dark Empire, and you want to be Yoda to help him as a guide, to help overcome the solution. And that's how you want to see your business as well, and your IT services business, when you're talking to business owners, CEOs, founders, the people who are ultimately going to pull the trigger. So I've done a lot of work personally around my brand message, and it really pays off. So, for example, on my website, my bounce rate on my site from doing it this way is around 5%, which is ridiculously low and ridiculously good, okay, for a website. That means that everyone who hits my landing page clicks on another page on my site. And that's what you want. You want people hitting your site and clicking around, because there's a higher probability of a profitable action like a contact inquiry, a book call, and all that sort of stuff, okay? This is some stuff that we cover in our clients and revenue fast track program. We give people a templated story brand site, all templated out, and they just have to convert it into a site. But it ensures that the kind of messaging is on point, right? So the third thing is environmental photos. So there's environmental photos are basically, environmental photos of you and your team and your office and your business and all of that. And it mightn't sound that important, but many websites, many online presences, many social media profiles for IT businesses, they're very generic, very stock. It's really hard to figure out what exactly is behind the business, okay? So environmental photos allow you to, see the person behind the business, the business owner in and around the office, at a whiteboard, doing a demo, talking to the team, doing some wireframes. I guarantee if you take some environmental photos, enrich them on your site, enrich them on your social media profiles, start creating some posts and all of that, you will 100% firstly get more engagement, likes, comments, interactions, but you'll also be able to take those likes, comments, and interactions and turn them into discovery calls and interactions as well. So capturing environmental photos is such an easy thing to do, and they make a massive difference. I had one software agency who worked with me recently. I told them about his site. I told him it was very, very nice, very neat, very clean. The messaging wasn't bad either, but it was hard to understand like what was behind the site, like who owned it, what was the team, what was their background, and all that. So he went away and he worked with, I told him go away with a photographer, and they went to WeWork and they captured some absolutely awesome environmental photos of them, doing some wireframing, planning out a new software design. He shared that image on LinkedIn with some kind of posts, great to work with the team who were all remote at the time. And he got a few contact inquiries as a consequence of that. So people who are in his network contacted him and struck up a bit of a conversation with them, and that ultimately converted into a new paying client. So that's how something that so easy, like capturing some environmental photos, using them on social media, using them on your website, can turn into dollars essentially. Okay, so that's environmental photos and why it's so important for your online brand. So the next one is case studies. So case studies are yet again another great way to show off what your company does, and they can help you to connect with your target audience by even deeper by inviting them to imagine themselves as a part of your story. Okay, so this type of marketing and branding can be highly effective for attracting new leads and increasing customer loyalty also. Okay, so I worked with another software development company. They were a remote company. They were based in India, I believe, and they had all this amazing work that they did. They worked with government bodies. They worked with Big Four consulting firms. Worked on these huge, massive projects and really meaty projects, and delivered some amazing client results. But they didn't have any of these case studies built out or fleshed out or mocked up on their site or their social profiles or sharing anywhere. They didn't have any kind of text-based case studies, video case studies, anything like that. And again, like if you're a buyer, if you're a prospect and you're looking around, you're evaluating companies, you do a quick Google search and you find a software agency and you're looking at the site, it makes a massive difference if you see that kind of stuff on your online presence and online brand. So that's why case studies are so important. Because if you think about it, the thing that people are thinking about that ultimately make them pull the trigger and do businesses with you is references and trust. And case studies is a great way to get the green light there. Okay, so that's case studies. The last and final tip is positive and inspiring micro content. Okay, so people are more than likely to respond to, feel connected to, and remember the person that was pleasant and happy. So this is a psychological fact. Okay, so that means that positivity produces results and grows relationships with others. Okay, and I have a little visual here of positive emotions and negative emotions. All right, so if you think about the negative emotions for a second, hate, neglect, fear. What are the ones there? Guilt, sadness. And then on the left-hand side, pride, hope, faith, joy, empathy, happiness. Okay. So the lion's share of people will be more magnetized or attracted to the positive emotions. So that is stuff that you want to be sharing through your content on social media, is like positive, inspiring content. I love like micro content. Okay, so micro content like little positive snippets on LinkedIn, little native videos like positive and inspiring. How you work with a great client. Kind of win in your business. A great client that you work with, or a brilliant review that a client left you. All those small little snippets of positive micro content acts as a kind of magnet for prospects and leads. So just sharing that stuff, a few of those every single week over through the course of the month and the year, I guarantee you will produce results. Okay, so we have an absolutely awesome batch creation process in our clients and revenue fast track program for IT business owners. It essentially shows you how to create like 90 days worth of this micro content in the space of a few hours, and then just schedule out it all across social media. All this positive, inspiring, uplifting, and personal micro content as well. Okay, so highly recommend that you do that. So that's pretty much it for today. We went through a lot. But if you want to kind of go deeper and learn how you can get access to the workbook, 5 online branding tips to establish yourself as an IT business as a trusted authority, or if you want to jump on a call and go through, what more you could be doing from a branding perspective, then just comment authority below, and myself or a member of my team will reach out via Messenger and set up a call with you. So on that call, we'll tell you about how you can get the kind of branding guide. We'll also take a look at where you are at right now with your business, your branding, and your marketing, and where you want to take it and where you want to go, if you want to take it anywhere at all, and what challenges are stopping you from achieving your goals. We'll map out a bit of an action plan as well for the next 90 days to give you a bit of clarity on what you should be doing right now to grow your own business. I take many of these calls, so we only take about 10 of these calls per week at the moment. They're first come, first serve. Right now, I have a handful of slots left for next week. So if you want access to the playbook and you want to get some real momentum towards, adding new clients, growing your monthly recurring revenue, then just type authority below and I'll make sure that you get one of those slots. Okay, so drop authority below if you're interested. So yeah, that's all for today. I'll open it up if we have any questions. All righty, we'll see some questions coming through. I'm still getting used to this live streaming software, so not even sure if comments are on. But anyway, it was great to jump on this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm committed to scheduling out more of these valuable live streams with you guys who are all in the IT services and software space. Some of you are running businesses, some of you are aspiring to run businesses. So I'll continue to push out some of these live trainings every single week to just provide more value to the group and get more interaction and all that. So thanks so much for joining. We'll have another one next week. Leave a comment below. Again, if you're interested in us reaching out, thanks so much for watching, and until the next time.